Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video. If you're new here or if you happen to come across this video, hi, my name is Rona. I do random videos for fun, mostly about studying, productivity, and sometimes vlogs where I just sit in front of the camera and talk. And that's exactly what I am doing today, because today, as you can read from the title, I will be answering questions related to accountancy, qualifying exams, shifting, and a lot more that I received from my TikTok comments. So without further ado, let us start with our first question. So most of the questions here are actually in Filipino, but I'm gonna try to translate it since most of my audience are not from the Philippines. So the first question that I have here is accountancy really that hard, and what year are you now? Yes, personally, in my own experience, accountancy is really that hard. From a scale of 1 to 10, it's an 11, probably 100. And currently, I'm in my 4th year BS in accountancy. I don't know how I managed to get this far, but okay, next question. Face-to-face essentials for accountancy students. So I suggest, guys, to not really spend a lot of money buying stuff, because what you will need in accountancy is actually a calculator, a ball pen, pencil, highlighters, and like a one big notebook where you can write down your notes. I don't suggest making your notes on like bond papers because it might get lost, and notes are very important in accountancy. You will have to keep it because in your first year, the notes that you've made, you will still be able to use it until your 4th year. Pile it in one notebook as much as possible. And also, guys, since we do a lot of journal entries, especially for first year, one face-to-face essential is actually this ball pen. I'm gonna insert a picture here where you can just erase it if you did a mistake or something, so that you won't use a correction tape. Correction tapes can sometimes look dirty, especially in our journal sheets. So yeah. Next question. Any advice for freshman BSA students? Okay, so speaking of freshman advices, I actually just uploaded a video last Wednesday of 10 tips for incoming freshmen. I specifically made it for BSA freshmen, so you better check it out. I'm probably gonna link the video below. Next question. Hi, Atirana. Just want to ask if you can still get a Latin honor if you shifted from BSA to BSME program. Thank you and God bless. Actually, in my school, I guess yes, because I have a senior who is a BSA student and shifted to BSME when she was a 2nd year, and still she graduated with a Latin honor. So I think it still depends on the school that you're in, but in my school, yes, you can still get your Latin honor. Okay, next question. What's the possible work if you graduate in BSME? Actually, guys, there are job opportunities for BSME. A lot of job opportunities. It's a common stereotype that if you shifted from BSA to BSME, you won't have lots of job opportunities, but that's not really true. I'm gonna insert some pics that I screenshotted from our official website in my university, where you can really see the job opportunities for BSME. So we have like the entry level jobs, the middle level jobs, and the advanced level jobs. Next question. So is it MCQ ate? I think she is referring to our qualifying exams. Yes, the questions in our qualifying exams are all MCQ. MCQ meaning multiple choice questions. Next question. Hi, I would like to ask if you have a qualifying exams in BSME or not. Actually, in my school, we do not have qualifying exams for BSME. If you haven't heard of BSME, BSME is BS in Management Accounting. So it's like BSA, but you don't have the CPA board. So it's like accountancy without the board. So in our school, no, we don't have qualifying exams for BSME, but it may be different again to your school. Next question. So do you need to pass the qualifying first before you can continue a year? Yes, in my school, in order for you to proceed to the 3rd year, 4th year, and 5th year, since my school we have 4.5 years in accountancy, you will need to take and pass the qualifying exams first. So yes, you have to. But if you don't plan on proceeding to the next year level in BSA, then you may not take the qualifying exams and just shift immediately. Next question. If you do not pass the qualifying exams and you shift to BSME, do you go back to being a first year student, or it's a continuation? It's the latter actually. In my school, if you're are a BSA student and you shifted to BSME, and if, for example, you're in your third year of college, you're still gonna be a third year college student if you shift. So you won't really go back to first year. Because actually guys, the subjects in BSA, BS in Accountancy, and BSME, BS in Management Accounting are quite the same. It starts to differ, especially in my school during your third year, because there are subjects available for BSME that are not available for BSA and vice versa. So no, you're not gonna go back to first year. Next, how many times do you take the qualifying exams in BSA? So we take the qualifying exams 3 times. We have level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 1, you're gonna take before proceeding to third year. Level 2, you're gonna take before proceeding to fourth year. And level 3, you're gonna take before proceeding to fifth year. So far, I took the first 2 and I'm still gonna take the level 3 soon. Okay, next question. Is it okay if you're a STEM student in senior high and you took BSA in college? Actually, personally, I think it's okay because I had classmates during my first year who were in STEM and they were an accountancy student in college. So I also have ABM classmates before who took nursing in college. So I think whatever strand you took in senior high, you can still choose to go to accountancy. However, there's an advantage if you are an ABM student, because in ABM we tackle a lot of like the basics in accountancy already, like journal entries, we did that, the different financial statements, and etc. Again, if you're a STEM student, try to survive it, do advanced reading, take the bridging program if you have, and if you really want it, then go for it. Okay, next question. Hello, I don't know if you have answered this question already, but may I ask, what strand did you take when you were a senior high school student? So I took ABM strand. So again, there's still an advantage if you're an ABM student because you're in touch with the basics already of accountancy. If you're a STEM student planning to take BSA, again, go for it. Actually guys, in your first year in college, you all go back at square one. So whatever strand you took, if you really want the BSA, if you really want to become an accountant, then it's not impossible. Just do your best. Next question, I would like to ask, the contents in your qualifying exams, is it those that you've studied the whole year? Do you have a reviewer that was given to you? There are 2 questions here, but for the first question, the contents for our qualifying exams is different depending on the level. In level 1, we have the Financial Accounting and Reporting, or the FAR subjects, and the RFBT, or the Regulatory Framework for Business Transactions, or your law subjects. So there are 2. In level 2, we have 3 subjects. First, we have the Auditing Theories. Second, we have the Managerial Advisory Services, or the MAS. And lastly, we have the Taxation. In level 3, we are gonna take 2 subjects. We have the Advanced Financial Accounting and Reporting, or the AFAR, and the other one is Auditing Problems. So yeah, it's not just those that you've studied for the whole year. And for the second question, no, we do not have a reviewer like the hard copy ones, but we do have review sessions that we actually paid for. Our chairman actually managed to invite like big names in accountancy who presided the review sessions with us in a Zoom meeting. So we had a review session for a week that we paid for. Next question, is there a time limit during qualifying exams? Yes, there is a time limit during the qualifying exams. Ours is 2 hours. I think in the 2 hours, majority of the time I spent sleeping. I'm not even joking. And I know I'm not the only one because I have lots of schoolmates who did the same. I can actually see them and they're sleeping. Next is, do you have a grade quota? Yes, we do have a grade quota in our school. We have to reach a grade of 2 if you want to stay in the program. But since I am a scholar, I have to maintain at least 1.4, 1.3. So if you fail to reach the 2, then I guess you have to retake that subject or shift. Okay, next question. Hi Ata, I just want to ask, what basic calculator do you use incoming freshie and I don't know what to buy? Personally, I use the Canon here. I use this and I also use the Casio one. So I have 2 calculators. I think it's an important tip to have an extra calculator because once I tried, I was taking an exam and my calculator was not working. So I had to borrow from a teacher. Lesson learned, I always bring 2 calculators with me. Actually, when choosing calculators, calculator, I do not go for the aesthetic. I go for what's comfortable in my fingers and what I'm already familiar with. Because at the end of the day, aesthetic calculators won't give you an answer if you do not actually know how to solve the problem. Next question. Hello, how many times do you allot in studying your accountancy subjects in one day? Any smart study tips? It's actually different for me every day because I have also to adjust with my class schedule. But before, back in my face-to-face classes, my last class ends at 7 p.m. Then I travel home till 8. I start studying around 8:30 because I want to rest for 30 minutes at least. I start studying for 8:30 until 12 o'clock. But sometimes if I need to study something, like I really have to finish this lesson, I go past 12 and sleep around 2 or 3, which I do not recommend. But since the start of online classes, I had more time to study because of course I don't have to travel back home. I'm already at home, so the travel time I allot for studying. So as for smart study tips, please check my study and productivity playlist and my accountancy playlist, and you can learn a lot from there. Next question. Hello, does joining organizations really help students? Actually guys, in my junior high school years, I am very active with organizations, but when I entered college, I decided I will not join any organization because, of course, my degree program is very hectic. The degree program itself would require me a lot of time. However, now that I'm in 4th year, I don't know what happened, but my friends and I decided to apply as officers, as central body officers for our organization in accountancy, which is the Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants. And yeah, that's my org. However, in my school actually guys, once you enroll in accountancy, you're already part of the JPIA or the Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants. So it is an autonomous democratic organization of accountancy and management accounting students. We have to join an org. But if it's not required in your school and you know that you will find it hard to balance school and organization, then I think you don't really need one if that's the case. This is a really good question. Any book recommendations for accounting? I have lots. So I have lots of books actually, and majority I do not read. Actually, for the book recommendations, it actually depends on what subject you're referring to. But I'm just gonna give you authors for accounting, intermediate accounting. Valex is really good. Milan also. For law subjects, my favorite is De Leon. So I think for the question, it has to be specific on what subject you're referring to. But I'm gonna link some of my favorite SHOPEE bookstores in my description so that you can check the books that you really need to buy. So I'm just gonna link it below. But if you would ask me like a specific subject, I'll be happy to help you. Just send me a DM on Instagram or something. My Instagram linked below as well. Ate, what are don'ts and do's in accountancy? Okay, I think it would be nicer if I make a whole video about this because I have a lot to say. But for now, don'ts in accountancy, don't settle for bare minimum. And when I say this, I meant like in your studies. If there's something you don't understand, make it a point to ask questions to your teachers, to your friends, to your seniors. Do research, watch video tutorials. So don't just settle for what's there. Go out of the box and try to learn from other resources. Do's in accountancy, you have to develop and stick to your study habits. Very important. You have to allot time in studying and you have to be disciplined enough to do and to stick with it. Also, do's in accountancy, do ask for help. It's very important. What else? So I think I should just make a whole video about this because I don't think it will be enough to say everything I want to say in this video. So that's it for now. I'm gonna try to draft something about this. Ate, I'm in my 3rd year. How do I balance the 5 major subjects? I was also a 3rd year student once, and what I've learned about this, I think a lot of people have told you the same thing: time management. Go for the subject you find hard first, focus on that subject, prioritize those subjects compared to those that you're already familiar with or those subjects that you've already mastered. I think it is also important that you do time blocking, like for example 8 to 9 you focus on this specific subject and then the next and then the next. Manage your time wisely. That's how you will be able to manage the 5 major subjects. I was once a third year student and I tell you it was hard, but I managed it because I always stick to my study schedule. Next, note-taking tips for incoming freshies. Ooh, this is a nice question. Because back in my first year in college, I took a lot of notes, like handwritten ones. But now guys, now that I'm in my 4th year, I've learned that I don't take a lot of notes as much as I did back in my first year in accountancy. Now I just annotate my books or like insert some flashcards or index cards and only write the important concepts. Don't write too much in your notes. Also, for me, it works for me, but I use highlighters and I actually assigned meanings to my highlighters. For example, pink is for the big terms, like terms that I have to remember. Yellow is for definition. Green is for like account titles. I think guys, instead of notes, because notes are time consuming, you can choose to do like active recall. Like during your free time, you can recall important concepts or you make your flashcards so that it will be easier for you to recall important concepts. YouTube channel recommendations for self-study about accounting. Okay, there's a lot. So for YouTube channel recommendations, I'm gonna link all my favorite YouTube channels below about accountancy. To tell you honestly, this is very helpful for me, especially in the online setup, because there are lots of things that I couldn't just understand by reading my book. So I refer to these YouTube channels. So hopefully you're gonna subscribe to the channels. I'm gonna link it below. Okay, so that's it for the questions today. So this is actually just the part 1 of the video. I have lots more questions from my TikTok comments that I have not included here because I'm planning to do a part 2. So if you want to see me answer more accounting, qualifying, and shifting questions from my TikTok comments, subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications so that you will be notified when I will post my part 2 of this question and answer series. I don't know if I can call this a series. So for now, thank you for hanging out with me. Hopefully, I was able to answer your questions and see you in part 2. Bye!